people, and that would be great.
Certainly do. Paige, I love your background for your PB&J. That looks wonderful.
Oh, thank you. It's new for our 2026 season,
Very
So- which we have one today at 12:30. So I'm going to hop off a little early from the book study today and do our season 2, episode 1
awesome.
of
You want to give
PB&J.
us a little preview? It sounds so cool about work-life balance and
Yes, so we have a couple of speakers so far lined up for the year. We have somebody coming in, Nisha Zollinger. She's going to talk about breath work and movement that you can do in the office and in your library to kind of stave off some of that tension and stress that builds. And then we have someone coming in from the UW Extension office from the Sensible Nutrition program, and she's going to talk about nutrition, meals, eating healthy. All of this can be translated into programming for libraries. And so what we're hoping is while this can help library staff be a little aware of too much on their plate and burnout, this can also Awesome. This can also be translated into programming for communities, so this can be a takeaway for communities and building community partnerships by having people in the community come in and do some of these programs as well.
well, that's a
So,
great idea.
yes. So, yeah, stay tuned for more info.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure a lot of the library folks have heard about it, but let's see. Let me see if I can pop a link in the chat unless you have one handy there, Paige.
oh gosh, you know what? I don't. But
I think I got it here.
oh, awesome. Thank you. I didn't even think about that.
Because I bet some of your library friends know, right? But maybe not everybody else does.
Yeah, and anybody is welcome. It doesn't have to be just for library staff. It's for anybody who's interested in just more wellness and being whole. And our theme this year is the whole sandwich. So,
That's great. Well, listen, everybody, it's 11:02, so we'll get started. I'm delighted to have all of you here. We had a number of folks who are going to be following along with us, but we're unable to be here today. So we've got a wonderful group of participants, and I'm. I guess I should start by saying, first of all, welcome everybody. I'm Michelle Sullivan. I direct the Wyoming Enrichment Network. And our work is really to bridge the gap between programs that happen outside the school day and the communities that they uplift, fueling them with resources, support, and opportunities that really foster lifelong learning, growth, and connection. And this book study is the beginning of a kickoff for a campaign that we're beginning uh, here uh, on this session, um, which is we're calling the Time to Thrive campaign. Uh, and the vision for this is really a Wyoming, and in this case, I think because we have a number of you from out of state, communities where every young people, no matter where they live, have access to high quality, caring, and connected opportunities to explore their interests, strengthen their skills, and discover where they belong. And so we're delighted to have you here. And I want to thank the Wyoming State Library, who has been our partner in this book study, making available copies of the book through Libby and also by sharing the information with librarians not only in the state but across the country. And want to shout out those of you who are coming to us from other states and just say you're very welcome and we're delighted that you're here. Um, and if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to do today. Um, our purpose today really is just to kick off uh, the book study, answer any questions, and to give you a little bit of an opportunity to meet some of the people who are here with us. We're going to talk a little bit about the arc of of the book study, and then we'll also just go into small groups so that you have a chance to just get to know a handful of each other a little bit more intimately than we can as a whole group. And I want to thank the few of you who have agreed to help us facilitate those small groups. So thank you for that. So in terms of the arc of our time over the course of the spring, we'll begin in uh, February 11th by kind of looking at the overarching concepts of the book. And then each of these will start at 11 Mountain Time and run. We've allowed 90 minutes. Today we won't go 90 minutes, but we wanted to leave that amount of time for really getting into some of those concepts. We won't in these sessions be kind of summarizing the book. Rather, we will really look for opportunities to pull out themes that are of interest to all of you and to really get and have an opportunity to be in discussion. We'll also send out a couple of priming questions ahead of time just to give everyone give everyone a chance to think and kind of dig into some of the concepts that people are interested in working on. So we'll start with February overarching concepts. March 4th, we'll look at how we really dig into this idea of a mentor mindset and what that looks like in our different contexts. April 1st, we'll really be thinking about how we take research such as Dr. Yeager's research and other colleagues that he points out in the book and really think about how you put those kinds of things into practice. And then we'll have our final reflection at the end of April, where we're really hearing from all of you about ways that this has shifted, these concepts have shifted, and you've been able to put them into practice where that's appropriate. I know that from our perspective, it's really been a game changer for us in terms of how we've been thinking about our own work and how we approach engagement and a relationship with young people. So I wanted to also just share with you a summary of the themes. You were all invited to to give us a sense of what you are interested in. And so we took all of your responses and created a short summary in a Google Doc. It's a Google Doc that you can actually make comments. And so we hope you'll feel comfortable and excited to make a comment about themes that particularly resonate for you in your own work or add kind of dimension to the themes that we've summarized. And I think what you'll see in this is there was a lot of common interest in kind of relationships with young people, thinking about how we make meaningful connections, especially in an age of AI and screens, and think about how we all can do better at really supporting young people as they grow and develop. I'm interested if there's any questions or comments before we're going to break into some small groups and just give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, but want to leave a little moment for questions or comments that anyone has as we get started. Right. So we're going to take just in terms of this meeting, we're going to take about 15 minutes and be in small groups. Kate, there are about 21 on the call, so I'm thinking we should do 4 groups. And I'm going to have Paige, Julie, Beth, and Laura lead those. And so we're going to assign them first. And then
I do actually, we'll have Michelle, Emily, Beth, Julie, and Laura to start with, but we'll see if we can get that straightened out.
Okay, that sounds great. So what we'll do is those folks who I've invited to facilitate, if when you're in the room you're in, we're going to defer to you to be the lead facilitator. How does that sound? Awesome. We gave everybody a minute. If we're still if people are still in their room, they're squeezing every little last second out of that breakout room. So that is a good sign. Welcome back, everybody. Or let people just was saying we've got some of our breakout groups that must be squeezing every little last minute into their breakout room. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. All right. Welcome back. I said you must have been squeezing every little last minute out of your conversation. So that felt good. So just want to give an opportunity for folks to share what, if anything, was kind of resonated for you as you heard from your colleagues.
So our group talked, it was great. We had myself from school district and youth coalition, and then we had some people involved in libraries and museums and just other different ways of involving youth. And so we had a lot of great talk about how we're, being involved with youth and trying to get that youth voice more, but a lot about the digital, the motivation and engagement in digital, and then social emotional, community connection, and then contemporary youth needs. It was a great conversation, and I am so thankful we had the chance for that. It was fantastic to connect.
Awesome. Thanks, Beth. Who else? I'll maybe look to our facilitators to hear from you about themes or things that were resonant.
So for our group, a group of librarians plus one nonprofit, it was interesting to see that we touched on or were interested in every single one of the themes, but many of us really were drawn to that sort of community connection and relevance, which makes sense potentially for especially for libraries across the state, across the US, to be curious about how is it that we connect and remain relevant with our youth. Yeah, but interesting too that essentially every single one of those themes was important to someone in our group, which I thought
that's great.
was interesting. The other thing that came up, I think, too, was just when we talked about contemporary youth needs, realizing that time is kind of a different element and geography is kind of a different element. Like those boundaries or those edges that maybe we felt are not felt in the same way for our youth. Geography is totally removed in a way, right? You can connect with anybody at any time. So I think we're excited to see what 10 to 25 will teach us.
Great. Paige, do you want to share themes?
I was actually in Julie's group.
Oh, great. Okay.
So I would just reiterate what she said.
How about Laura?
I was in Beth's group. So yeah, we were talking a lot about connecting with youth and providing opportunities for them to really direct learning for themselves, which is really exciting.
Nice. Emily?
Yeah. So it was similar to Julie's group, librarians plus me, and from all across the country, which was a wonderful perspective, just to see those common themes and threads that are weaving across state boundaries. So we spoke a lot about internships and work-based learning and how we as adults can help support and prepare and nurture that environment for the young people that are coming through our programs. I think we have a lot of really neat opportunities to learn from the folks in this community. As one of our members mentioned, high standards and high support are kind of a librarian's jam. And so for those of us that are not in libraries, can we take advantage or can we use the opportunity to learn from all of the work that's been done ahead of our conversations today? But really just a great conversation about how do we support interns that can have a pathway into community through the work that we're getting to do and help them succeed.
Great. And maybe I'd invite someone else from our group to maybe talk about some of the themes that emerged, since I'm doing a lot of talking. Oh,
I can go.
yeah, that'd be great, Annie. Thanks.
I heard a lot about, well, we had a diverse group too, organizations, librarians, which is amazing, all the librarians in this group, but I'm excited to connect with everyone. But what I was hearing was a lot about how we are mentoring students, players, kids, and having difficulty reaching a certain age group of middle school. And so maybe we can think about the mentoring relationship as two-way and figure out how we can have their voice as much as ours. And there was a lot of other stuff. I have a mind like Dory the fish. I can't remember everything. So if you want to fill in, Michelle.
I love that idea, though, too, of this idea of a two-way mentorship. And that in thinking about how we kind of think about young people as mentors to us as we're thinking about how to be of support to them. We talked a little bit about third spaces and how important that is to middle school in particular, and but also just in thinking about how we engage in meaningful ways that both are about concrete, tangible learning, but also driven in part by young people. I think, benefited from having different places that we're each working, and so I think that will be wonderful as we go forward in all of this. So, thanks everybody. Just wanted to talk a little bit about resources too that we have that are going to be available. Kate, do you want to talk a little bit about, for those from Wyoming who might want PTSB credit?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we are applying right now for PTSB credit, so keep your eyes out for more information about that. We hope to have that available for formalized before the next meeting.
Great. And also just would offer two additional resources that are on our website that might be helpful to everyone. For those of you who are not familiar, we are part of the Charles Stewart Mott 50 State Network, and the Mott Foundation has developed something called Mizzen, which is a great resource for folks who are looking for different kinds of resources, programmatic resources. It's a very rich app that is available for free, and you can connect through our website or other just by Googling Mizzen. We also have quite a number of resources from other conversations that we'll continue to we'll kind of share with you as we go forward. We will also be doing some other professional development as we get into the spring on a number of different topics, but one in particular that I wanted just to mention, we have just learned that we were awarded a grant to work with the Math Narrative Project about how we really integrate math into new and concrete ways. And so we'll be kind of sharing a little bit more about that as we learn more, but it's exciting, and we hope we can share that programmatically with folks as it's helpful in ways that you might think about integrating math, not into math, but into real life and real world learning opportunities. Anything else, Kate, resources that we want to make sure we share out?
Yeah. Let's see. Mizzen's a great start for really applicable for everybody. I might share the, let's see, I might go ahead and share our Time to Thrive conversations. I was talking with our little breakout group about the power of youth voice and how uh, specifically about Laura, your question about how to reach young people and attract them to the museum, and the young person who told you that, if you can really get one or two of us excited, that's the key way to open the door. So I might share those articles with you all.
That would be great.
In
Yeah,
the chat.
we kicked off our Time to Thrive with some community conversations in November and December, and by far the most powerful was a youth panel that we had. And Laura, I had forgotten about that. Laura asked a great question about, okay, well, if as a museum, if I'm trying to get you involved, what's your advice to me? And so there was some very powerful advice from young people, middle school through early college. And so for those of you who want to hear directly from young people, it's a great opportunity. They're from all over the state and very rural communities largely. I think Mary Louise was there too. Two of them were 4-H leaders, which we were grateful to have. So thank you for that. Well, I want to just invite any last questions before we wrap up for today. Any questions or comments that anyone would like to make before we sign off on our kickoff? We're looking forward to having you with us as we go through the spring.
I just want to say I'm very excited for this. It was great meeting people today,
Yeah,
and yeah.
terrific. And we will look forward. If you have any questions or if you have any comments or suggestions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're just really looking forward to spending some time with you. I didn't actually have an opportunity to introduce Joanne Pruitt too, who's also with the State Library and is Paige's uh, part of the PB&J team, which will be also on today. So nice to have you as partners. Thanks, everybody,
Thank
and
you.
have a
Thank
wonderful day.
you.
Appreciate you. Bye now.
Bye.